Welcome back to Marketing Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpoff, your host. Again, we're talking about marketing with marketing experts from around the country. And today we're in New York with Eric Schwartz from Scibids. And Eric, welcome to our conversation today.
Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Well, it's our pleasure and excited to learn a little bit more about you. So why don't you get us started by sharing how you got started in the marketing industry?
Yep. So funny story in the marketing industry. I was in college, and a typical New York Jewish mother story. I was on vacation, and my mother happened to be in a spa with some women that were talking about marketing and advertising. And my mom, looking out for me, butted in and started to ask some questions around what it is that they do and if they have internships available. Fast forward about 2 to 3 months later, I had an interview at I had an internship at Gray Healthcare Group, which got me into the industry, but more on the buying side. And actually, when I graduated college, I ended up at Universal McCann as a TV media buyer, but then quickly switching over to the sales side, where I went to Yahoo, and then I went to 2 or 3 different startups before. And now I'm at a great business called Scibids AI, also very much a startup where I've kind of really have the niche of helping, European CEOs launch their business in North America has really become my niche specifically. But yeah, I've been in marketing and advertising for the last 12 years.
Well, it definitely seems you have a great path to where you're at right now and lots of great experiences. Media buying for TV definitely teaches you a lot of things and brings a lot of experience that comes along with it. What is the main focus of your day-to-day right now in the role that you're playing?
So it's changed a lot, right? I started 2 years ago where I launched the business in North America right when COVID hit. I was actually onboarding in Paris, France when COVID hit. So I got COVID in Paris and then came back to the US. But when I came into the business, my day-to-day was very much around education, right? I'm in a new disruptive space within AI and automation, within programmatic buying. So I think a lot of folks had to just start to understand a little bit about this space. People have heard about AI, but they didn't know much about it and the application within digital advertising. So the first year, very much day-to-day education, tons of meetings. Year 2, a little more like on adoption and like getting MSAs over the finish line. And now just like hyper growth. So, we're partnered with, almost all the big agency holdcos, a bunch of independents, tech providers, brands. And now we are experiencing a ton of growth. And, it went from me to a team of 7. So I'm managing a team, doing a lot of partnerships and helping everyone kind of, get off to the races, if you will.
So to those that really are not in the know, how would you best describe what your offerings are within AI?
Yep. So I think to best describe it, you have to go backwards a little bit, right? Especially within the programmatic landscape, which is pretty complex as is, right? For those of you who don't know about as much about programmatic, think of it as like the stock market where you're buying and selling advertising space on an exchange level. When you think about programmatic over the last 10 years, it has very much been a manual process where you have traders going into these big platforms that that we've all heard of, right? The Trade Desk, Google, Xandr, and making these manual optimizations, which when you think about programmatic, there's so much access to data, right? There's about 22 million variables available for every single ad call. So what we come into the space and what we really are doing is we're using AI to automate the customization and the optimization that is available within these platforms, as opposed to solely relying on humans to make optimizations. So when we look at programmatic in the future, we believe the future of the programmatic is traders setting up platforms in the best way possible for then AI to maximize the optimization and the opportunity to be cheaper, faster, and smarter.
Well, obviously these tools are going to make companies a lot stronger and a lot more knowledgeable of what directions and decisions to make. So it's really great of all the work that you're doing to assist with that. And we appreciate you sharing all this information and sharing your backstory. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you all for joining us as well. There really is so many factors going into making the right decisions for your company. What Eric is doing and his company is doing really is helping companies make great decisions, and there's a lot more involved that they aren't even aware of, that they're guiding them through. There's a lot more information to check out on Daily Ad Brief to learn more. But go and have a great rest of today, and let's see you next time on Marketing Champions.